Central Minnesota Sports Hub. It's the Morning Sports Desk, presented by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And streaming on YouTube.
Powered by Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. This is the Morning Sports Desk. I'm CJ Baumgartner. That's Corey Tackman. Corey, we got a lot to do to catch up on a Monday. And first of all, how was your Father's Day weekend? You guys do anything, or you just pretty much crash at home?
I had a really nice Father's Day, as a matter of fact. We, first of all, the whole weekend, we took in some of the June Jubilee festivities. I got to eat some of the Tackman poutine featured on the One Trick Pony food truck at June Jubilee, which
I've heard rave reviews, by the way. I
mean, how often do you get a food named after you? You know what I mean? It was very cool. And then let's see, what else? Oh, we went to Sonny's, the new restaurant in Wadena, the new Vietnamese place. Excellent. That was Saturday. On Sunday, Larry's Family Pizza in town was celebrating 50 years. So we got some pizza from Larry. So we celebrated new restaurants and old restaurants in town. And then Sunday, CJ, I think you'll appreciate this. Got up before church on Sunday morning, and happy Father's Day. Here's a little something. Open it up. And I opened up the little gift bag from the boys and from my wife. And it was some new socks, which I needed, a pair of shorts, which I needed and like a nice pullover, not a hoodie, not like a sweatshirt hoodie, but like a nice spring sort of hoodie, long sleeve that was really great, and a blue polo shirt. So it was like a whole little outfit that was in this thing. And the boys, actually, my wife had gotten the boys dressed already, and she's like, I'm dressing them all up in blue today, and you've got the blue, like, it's Father's Day. I want to be kind of cute to just kind of all dress the same, and I'm a cornball that way. I think that's kind of fun. I like to lean into stuff like that. I don't think it's like clever or cute. I think it's cheesy and corny, and that's why I like to do it. We're not a buffalo plaid for Christmas pictures kind of family. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I will do stuff that I think is like potentially silly. And this is one of those things. I'm like, okay, that seems like fun. We get to church, and I start walking into church, and I turn around, and my wife's sister, so my in-laws go to the same church, right? And her family. And I turn around, and there's all the cousins in the exact same blue polo shirt. And here comes Uncle Jeremy around the corner, who's in a blue polo shirt. And I was like, those girls, they set us up. They said, so now it's 3 Tackman boys and 3 cousins and me and Uncle Jeremy. We're all dressed the exact same. So I'm standing there, and I watch them walk in, and I open the door, and I look in the church, and there's 20 other guys in blue polos and all of their boys in blue polos. The whole church set us up. It was amazing.
They got you, and they like everybody took the bait, hook, line, and sinker. That's the other thing too.
Oh, good. It was so. I mean, I spent the whole time we started church with a bunch of songs, right? It's just songs right out of the gate. And I didn't sing any of the songs, because every time I'd look up and I'd look around and I'd see another blue polo shirt, and I just started giggling. It was awesome. And then I had to walk my youngest over to like children's church or whatever, the nursery. And one of the moms came around the corner. CJ, I kid you not. She gave me double guns, and she goes, "We got jokes."
It was bonus points if they all could have got you a New Balances and got you to all wear them.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
Monarchs.
Oh gosh. So shout out my wife and all the women who set all those dads up. That was very funny.
It's great. It's great. Not only the theory of it, but just executing it to perfection.
It was so good.
Much more impressive than the idea.
Yeah.
Actually. So
yeah, it'd be fun if you guys all just wore blue together. You suck, because you can't yell that at church. That's maybe the worst spot to yell it.
All right. Well, before Father's Day, there was the Minnesota State High School League State Baseball Championships at Target Field, Minneapolis. Saturday morning, 10 o'clock was the first pitch between Red Lake County and New Ulm Cathedral. Of course, Red Lake County played that extra inning, extra site, 5-hour marathon kind of game that Parker's Prairie unfortunately couldn't quite get a win in, but the team that did beat the Panthers that day goes on to win the state championship. The 5 seed out of Section 8, Red Lake County, beats the 2 seed out of Section 2, New Ulm Cathedral, 15-7 in a big win, Corey, for Northern Minnesota baseball.
Huge win for Northern Minnesota baseball. And I tell you what, those boys can hit the baseball around, can't they?
Yes, they can. They can hit, as evidenced by a 15-run performance in a state championship game.
Well, I don't know how he performed in the championship game. I didn't see individual stats, but I know during the semifinal game, their 8-hitter, this is Red Lake County's 8-hitter, was 7 for 7 in the tournament and had been hit by a pitch. So he had reached base in all 8 at bats, and he was 7 for 7 with 7 hits. I mean, 1 through 9, that order could put the bat on the ball, and they proved it again in the championship.
Yeah, moving on to the AA championship, 3-seeded Pine Island out of Section 1 AA playing the 4 seed out of Section 5, yes. Glencoe Silver Lake.
Yes, love everything about this.
Pine Island wins 2-1.
Pine Island, home of the Krennics, the cousins. Hi, what's up, cousins? Congratulations. They're not in school anymore, but it's still very cool. The baseball field is just right kitty corner from my aunt and uncle's house. So, I'm basically know everyone there. And then Glencoe Silver Lake is right down by where I grew up, and I would consider that to be a pretty heavy rivalry. So go Pine Island.
A really interesting state championship game there. Moving on to the 3A title game, Mahtomedi beats Mankato East 6-2. The 3-seeded Mahtomedi out of Section 4, beating the number 1 seed out of Section 2 in Mankato East. How would you like to be a Mankato East male athlete, Corey? You get to the state basketball championship and you lose there. You get to the state baseball championship and you lose there as well. Nobody's going to feel bad for you because you went to 2 different state championship games, but also you lost both of them.
I think in a year, everyone in the community is going to be like, wow, what a year. In 20 years, all of those kids are going to be like, man, we had a heck of a career, and they're still going to be mad about it.
Uh-huh. Time will not heal all wounds in this instance.
No, they will not.
In the 4A championship game, here's a shot, Corey. Creighton Durham Hall is your state baseball champions.
Oh, wow. Good for them. It's nice to see this upstart program come through with a W.
Yeah, they only have like 4 Hall of Fame players that have gone through their high school.
Correct. Right, exactly.
So Creighton Durham Hall gets a 3-2 victory over Minnetonka, the 1-seeded Raiders out of the Section 4. The Skippers out of Minnetonka, the 3-seed out of Section 2. Those are your champions. And Corey, with that, it puts a bow on the 2024-25 athletic season for the Minnesota State High School League. I think that wraps it. I think the baseball tournament always kind of wraps everything up. So that's it. We are done. We have covered it all. We kind of did a wrap up about stats on Friday's show. So go back and listen to that for kind of our local, how many games we've covered and everything in our blah, blah, blah speeches. But that's where things are at. And there you go, wrapping up the state baseball tournament as well. Corey, let's talk a little state sports because we got Twins to talk about. Have the Wolves and Kevin Durant trade rumors, which are also mixed in there as well. And it's a Monday, so we got to play a grid. But before we do all of that, let's talk a little Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade.
Start your week off right with half price play Mondays in the FunZone Arcade. Play all your favorite games for half price all day long on Mondays. Double up on the fun and your chances to win some awesome prizes. And you're not going to want to miss a Monday, so mark your calendar, bring your friends. See you soon at the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. Look at that VR headset. Look at that thing.
So cool.
Honestly, it's incredible. So go check them out and shout out the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. I'm so happy they're on board with this. It's the coolest.
Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade in Wadena. They're the best. Go there today for the half price play Monday, and just go there in general because the Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade is pretty darn good.
Yep.
All right, Corey. Not pretty darn bad, actually, is the Minnesota Twins. They are 2-8 over their last 10. Not only that, but Pablo Lopez is on the injured list. Sebby Matthews is on the injured list. Royce Lewis just got moved to the injured list. Byron Buxton got hit in the elbow with the pitch on Saturday. He was taken out of the game as a precaution. He also sat yesterday as a precaution. There's an off day today, so the kind of hope is that the Twins are like, all right, you got a contusion on the elbow because it hit the pad. Thankfully, he was wearing the elbow pad. So I think it's just let's just reset. We have an off day on Monday. Let's just let you ride it out and come back out strong on Tuesday. So that is the optimistic view. The pessimistic view is just at some point we're going to hear he's back on the 10-day injured list. But either way, the Twins have not been playing very well at all. They have just really been bad in multiple different areas. Corey, coming into Pablo Lopez's start last Tuesday, so Tuesday the 3rd, the Twins starting rotation had an ERA of under 3.5, and in fact was top 5 in all of baseball. Since Pablo Lopez got hurt, and Sebi Matthews got hurt the next day as well, the Twins starting rotation in this span has had an ERA of over 7 and is the worst in Major League Baseball over the last week. Granted, it is a small sample size. It's just like 2 trips through the rotation. But it felt like you lose your ace and it's like, we got to rally. And the starting rotation's like, here's a meatball. And things have not been looking good. The offense has been hit or miss as well. And I have a theory, Corey. And before I get to that theory, I'm just going to let you kind of get your thoughts out.
Well, they gave up in 4 consecutive games, 16, 2, 16, and 10. So that's really bad.
Yes.
That's a pretty huge indictment on some starting pitching and probably some defense. I don't know exactly. None of these games have been on TV, so I haven't been able to watch them, at least from my perspective. But like you can point the finger of blame at probably more than just one category when you're giving up 16 runs and 10 runs in a game, right?
Well, then yesterday, the pitching staff only allows 1 run through 9 innings, and the Twins offense out hits the Astros by double, and they still can't get 2 guys home. Okay,
so yeah, that was going to be the next part I get to is that you can pretty much put this on. You can put this on some of this on the starting pitching, which has been brutal, and then some of this you can put on bullpen because in the last 2 games they've had, even though it's been a minimal lead, they've had a lead and had a chance to kind of cut this off at the pass, and the bullpen has not done what it's needed to do. And the entire time we go back to this, you said back 10 games.
Yep.
So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 3 runs, 4 runs, 4 runs, 6 runs, 4 runs, 6 runs, and then 3, 3, 2, and 1. So the offense isn't doing anything either. This is like the time I talked to Charlie Dormanen at Monaga, and he said, Corey, we can't throw, we can't catch, and we can't hit. The Twins are hitting the trifecta, the turkey of baseball, so to speak.
Yeah, fun. I'm having fun. Now, that being said, Corey, the good news is that the AL Central is starting to crater. So that's been good for the Minnesota Twins, except for the Detroit Tigers. They're kind of just humming along. The Detroit Tigers are 46-27.
The bad news is the Twins are in the AL Central, and they're one of the reasons why it is cratering.
The Twins are 2-8 in their last 10, but thank goodness so are the Guardians and the Royals.
Right, exactly.
So the Twins are 9 games out of first place, by the way, in the AL Central. The Tigers are just running away with that thing.
Yep.
And by the way, they're not even like sprinting away. They're just like at just a pace, and everybody else is like twisting their ankles.
Right, exactly.
So, but if you look at the wild card race too, that also means that the Twins are in the thick of things as well, because the Twins have a 36-35 record, and they're just hanging on to that final wild card spot that is being vacated, or that currently, because you have the Rays in the first wild card, the Blue Jays in the second, you have the Twins in the third, right behind them are the Mariners, also as well, the Guardians, the Royals, and the Boston Red Sox, but I don't think I'd be worried about the Red Sox doing much, considering they just traded their franchise superstar for peanuts for like the 3rd time in the last 5 years. Good job, Boston.
They've given up 78 runs in the last 10 games.
Twins?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been real bad. And in fact, Corey, it feels kind of poetic, right? Like, you ever hear the Mark Twain quote, history doesn't repeat itself, it often rhymes?
Yes.
Yeah. You ever heard the George Lucas quote? He's like, it's like poetry. It rhymes, you know?
Sure.
When George Lucas was making the prequels, he wanted them to like not be the exact same as the original ones, but he wanted them to have a lot, like wanted them to quote unquote rhyme. And that's exactly what the Twins are having happen. It's not, I'm not going to say that they're rhyming quite yet, but it's pretty poetic how things are happening right now. It's eerie to the 2024 season. And remember, Corey, the Twins did nothing in the offseason. Not like they didn't sign anybody. It was a deliberate, like, they didn't trade anybody. They made a couple, like, they signed Harrison Bader, they signed Ty France. They made a couple moves, like, on the margins. But they didn't, like, we got to shake off the stench of last year. We have to figure out what went wrong. We have to, even the Twins in 2022, when they collapsed at the end of the year, they went, you know what? We got to go get an ace. And they went and traded for Pablo Lopez and extended him. They made sure to re-up on Correa. Like, they did a couple things where it was like, you could wash away the stench of the previous year because the team in the offseason did a couple things to kind of get you excited about the upcoming team. This year's Twin squad, they did nothing in the offseason, mainly because of salary constraints, but also they went, there's no way that we can collapse twice again, right? Like what are the odds? And
sure.
So the Twins started this year. I remember last year they started 7-13. This year's Twins squad started 7-15. Last year's Twins team after that start won 12 games in a row. This year's Twins team won 13 in a row after the 7-15 start. But it goes deeper than that because both went 9-11 after their winning streaks ended as well. So they both followed up a bad start, really hot kind of following, and then just kind of went meh for the next like month after that. And that's exactly what the Twins have been doing in this stretch. Let me take you back to another thing of why this rhymes. So last year, the Twins had a starting rotation ERA of 4.31 on August 6th of last year. Joe Ryan, who was maybe the Twins' best starter last year, had a grade 2 teres major strain behind his right shoulder. It kept him out for 2 months, and at that point in the year, it ended his season. Ryan had a 3.6 ERA over 23 starts in that season. And without him, and Chris Paddock was also hurt at the time, the Twins had to rely on Simeon Woods-Richardson, David Festa, and Zebby Matthews, and relying on 3 basically rookies to anchor a rotation through a playoff race, they couldn't keep up, and they ended up losing. It wasn't the only reason. The lineup inconsistency was also there. We'll get to that in a second. But this season, Pablo Lopez was the Twins' ace. He was having a great start to the season. Twins starting rotation ERA 3.40, 5th best in baseball, before Pablo Lopez suffered. Corey, you want to guess what the injury was?
For who again?
For Pablo?
Probably very similar to what this current one is.
No, it's the exact same injury Ryan had. The exact same. Now, there's a chance Lopez can come back because there's still plenty of season left, but you've got to be without your staff ace for 2 months. But from, again, the Twins have had an ERA of over 7 since Pablo Lopez has been out. And, of course, Zebby Matthews is also hurt, which means you have Simeon Woods-Richardson and David Festa trying to make starts for you. And not that they're bad pitchers in and of themselves, but now you need them to be good. It's not like hey, if they earn a spot, come up and play with us. It's okay, you kind of have to do it whether you're feeling good or not. And the Twins offense isn't doing them any favors either. Through the first 20 games of the 2024 season, the Twins had a 28th ranked, 67 runs scored and 75 weighted runs created plus. League average is 100. From April 22nd to August 17th of last year, they scored a league best 533 runs with the second best 121 weighted runs created plus, only for the final 37 games of the year to go back down to an 84. What that basically means is the Twins went from bad to, oh my gosh, they're awesome, and then back to like bottom of the league, like just this yo-yo going back and forth with their consistency. Take it to this year in the first 20 games, the Twins were 25th ranked with 70 runs scored, 77 weighted runs created plus. Since then, Minnesota's offense top 7 with a 110 weighted runs created plus, and their 210 runs scored in the span is 13th best in baseball. Again, like they just keep oscillating back and forth and back and forth. And it's just this frustrating way of saying like, you did nothing to change the flaws of last season, and weird that the things that weighed you down last season are popping up again.
It's funny how it works. It's not like these aren't things that everybody has been saying about the Twins and the organizationally since roughly about this time, 1 season ago. I always think it's fun. I don't know how often you use AI or anything, but it's funny because they can come up with it. AI will come up with clever things, but also you can ask them to compare things without making the without having to do all of the research yourself, CJ. And this is what when you compare to June 16th of 2025 to June 16th of 2024, this is what AI says about the Minnesota Twins. They are in a less favorable position this year compared to last. A worse record and further back in the division. The pitching has shown noticeable improvement in preventing runs. However, the offense is producing fewer runs, largely due to the underperformance of Carlos Correa and the injury and playing time reduction from Royce Lewis. So, not great.
And Royce just also has been bad when he's been playing too. That's been
exactly
like, it just is, it's a mess. So I don't know. They're going to have to figure out a way to dig out of it. I don't quite know what it'll look like, but just do one of the things better. I don't know. Pitch a little better, hit a little better, figure out something. So
I think it's important. See, I mean, like this, it's a long season, right? They started
ebbs and flows.
They started off on a bad run. They went on a nice run. They're in the midst of a bad run. Like it's still only mid-June.
They still have a winning record.
It's still the American League Central Division. It still is Detroit. Now, a year ago, we said to ourselves, and everybody said to themselves, there's no way Cleveland's going to keep this up. I hate to break it to you. Detroit is probably going to keep this up. That's just the way it goes. Like they are on whatever they're on, and good to them, good for them. But like the Twins it can be sorted out. Royce Lewis can get healthy. Correa has always been, even though he's been weird offensively since he got here, when the moment is its biggest, Carlos Correa has been at his best. So he still feels like a guy you can count on and trust. It's not like it's over. But this is in a season of runs, they've had more bad runs than good runs.
Mm-hmm.
Go Twins, go.
Go Twins, go. All right, quickly, Wolves, Kevin Durant trade rumors. If you were following Twitter, certain personalities were telling you, hey, Wolves and Kevin Durant, this is going to happen. Like, this is a thing. There's gaining momentum was the quote that always was used. And he had everybody excited in Wolves land that they were going to get Kevin Durant. And then all of a sudden there was a report, I believe it was early Sunday, if not late Saturday, where it was Kevin Durant has his three preferred trade destinations. It's the San Antonio Spurs, the Houston Rockets, and the Miami Heat. Weirdly, Corey, they're all three teams that play in states with zero income tax. And Kevin Durant's got one last mega contract before his career is over, basically. So that's kind of in there. The Phoenix Suns have stated they are not just going to trade teams on Durant's wish list. They are going to look for the best possible package. So it doesn't necessarily rule out the Minnesota Timberwolves, but Corey, like just on a generic gut check, I mean, it feels like Durant to the Wolves is more unlikely than likely, correct?
Well, the Timberwolves were in that initial list of teams. And there's no reason to think
that have been conversating.
Yeah, there's no reason to think that wasn't real. But yeah, Houston, San Antonio, and Miami are those are the three teams that have come to a head. I think the Miami one has more to do with the no state income tax than Houston and San Antonio. Houston's good, and someone like Kevin Durant on Houston makes a ton of sense. Like that is save some money, get paid, and compete for a championship. And then I don't know if you've heard of Victor Wembanyama, who plays for San Antonio, but he's supposed to be something special, and that could be a pretty dynamic pairing with Wemby and KD, who are two of the biggest freaks that the NBA has ever seen as far as athletic ability and skill set. So that makes total sense for him to want to go there, maybe more than anywhere else. What's interesting is those two teams are in the West, and I don't know. Like, do you project them to be favorites in the West because KD is there? Like the Timberwolves are already for 2 seasons in a row one of the two best teams in the in the Western Division, in the Western Conference. Like I don't know if that's like why that doesn't factor in. I don't know. Does KD on Houston make Houston better than Minnesota? Maybe. Does it on San Antonio though? I don't know if that's necessarily the case. It's just as an interesting, like what does winning actually have to say about any of it. Because a team with Ant and KD and Jaden McDaniels, no matter what, is pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I love KD. There's just no way that this isn't that one turned into a mess for the Timberwolves.
I would love if Kevin Durant is on the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'll just buy his jersey. I just will, because why not? But like, and I'll justify it to myself in my head.
Of course.
Full disclosure. But as of right now, I don't think the Wolves are in a position where they need to sell the farm to go get Kevin Durant, or they need to give up kind of the things that they've been building already. Now, I think it's logical that the Wolves are going to make some kind of swing in the offseason. They did it 2 years ago for Rudy Gobert. They did it last year trading Karl Anthony Towns. That was more for salary relief, but it was also to kind of set you up to make another move. Like you got the draft pick from Detroit that could reload you a little bit for draft capital. You have, still some guys on your team. So, this doesn't mean like the Wolves should just stand pat, but I just don't know if getting Kevin Durant is exactly the move that's the best move kind of in the cornucopia of options you have to pick from. It certainly would be the flashiest, and pairing Ant with somebody he really respects and looks up to would be very cool and it'd be a fun storyline. But I think overall, I don't know, is the juice worth the squeeze in getting Kevin Durant? Because the Suns, they want to win. They want to be competitive. They don't just want draft picks. They want players to put with Devin Booker, when really the Suns should trade him for picks, and they should trade Booker for picks, and they should just tank and wait out another 5 years. But they want to win. They have an owner that wants to win. So, and the Wolves have made Jaden McDaniels untouchable. So you're not getting Ant, you're not getting Jaden. And if you're the Suns, do you feel like you can get a player package that can get you enough value to still be competitive off of Kevin Durant? I don't know. I don't know if that's in the cards for them. I don't know if the Wolves would be willing to give up some of the players that it would take to give in Durant, because remember, it's exactly what the Phoenix Suns did. They tanked their entire core to go get Kevin Durant, and then turns out their team floundered because they didn't have depth. They just had star power. And if you're the Wolves, do you want, now trading for Bradley Beal was probably the bigger death blow than Durant, but overall, like, it just is do you want to give up this young core you're building to bring in a vet to go in, but you got to know that you're not going to be deep. And as we've learned throughout these playoffs, you need to be a deep team just as much as you need to be a star-powered team. So I don't know. At the end of the day, my gut tells me Kevin Durant is not a Minnesota Timberwolf, but who knows? Things can change. According to John Krasinski of The Athletic covering the Timberwolves, he does not seem optimistic that a Wolves KD trade is imminent. And according to Shams, he thinks the trade could happen sometime this week.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't seem like the thing. I don't know, that it seemed like it could possibly be a thing like on Friday.
Yep.
By Sunday, it was very clear that it was no longer a thing.
Right. And also, if you're Kevin Durant, these are the final couple of years of your career. Do you want to spend them in Texas or Florida, or do you want to spend them in Minnesota in the winter?
By the way, Texas is where he's from.
Yeah, he at least played at Texas. Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, exactly. All right. So let's wrap up the show by doing an Immaculate Grid. Corey's, I'm pulling it up. Explain to the good folks at home what an Immaculate Grid is.
An Immaculate Grid looks like a tic-tac-toe board with 3 categories across the top and 3 categories down the side. You just have to find a player that matches at each interchange of the grid. So we've got, who is that? Cincinnati, the Twins, and born outside the United States across the top. And down the side, we've got Detroit, we've got Cleveland, and pitched a minimum of 1 game. So we just need to find the common player. If we can get a very random player, the lower score you can get, the better overall. CJ and I try to get the low score if at all possible, but also we'll take any layup that we can get in this situation.
All right, so across the top, again, the Cincinnati Reds, the Minnesota Twins, born outside the U.S., 50 states, and D.C., so I'm guessing, Puerto Rico is not included in that. So Puerto Rican-born players are up for game in this one. Looking at this board, I always try and find ones that have had the Twins on them just to make it a little bit easier.
Can I point something out? I always am struck by how the Cincinnati C and the Twins C are basically the same.
Basically the same. Honestly, I'm surprised nobody else has caught on to that.
I don't know. I just always think I just have always thought that was kind of silly.
All right. Kind of like how the Georgia G and the Green Bay Packers G are like the exact same, just different colors.
The exact same thing, just different color scheme.
Yeah. Like how everybody uses the Arizona Cardinals Cardinal logo, but you just change the color scheme just a little bit and boom. Or like the Philadelphia Eagles, Eagle head.
Or if you're the Vikings, if you're a high school that's nicknamed the Vikings in this state, you're just not, you're
using the Vikings.
Orange like Pelican Rapids, or you're blue and yellow like Hayfield or whatever. You know?
Right. Okay. Cincinnati Red, who was pitched in one game. Emilio Pagan.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Emilio Pagan. All right. Look at that. 0.5%. Let's go.
Love it.
Pitched a minimum of one game, born outside the U.S. 50 states and D.C. Corey, I think we got to go with our favorite Twins pitcher from the early aughts.
And that is?
Johan Santana.
Yeah, if that's what you want to do, unless you want to throw in someone random, or do you want to save the random Twins pitcher here for the Twins category?
That's true. We could do the the Twins pitched in one game. You could do anybody
because there's a lot of players who have pitched who are not necessarily pitchers.
Oh yeah. We could go position players pitching. You like your La Tortuga, Jonah Bride has pitched a couple.
In there,
Willie Castro. I was thinking of doing Craig Breslow just because his name is in the headlines.
Sure,
making that Red Sox trade.
But where's Willie Castro born?
Good question. I want to say he's Puerto Rican, but I don't know that.
Ask me. I'm legitimately wondering.
Well, I'd have to look it up, and then if I look it up, I feel like he's Puerto Rican, but please don't quote me on that.
So that would be, I love, how current is this? Like, could you put Jonah Bride in there and have it be correct today?
I think we should try.
Even though we know it's correct, is the game current? That would be the only thing.
Yeah, it stays current.
Okay.
Here we go. I believe, as I'm about to hit this button.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Boom. Jonah Bride.
Well, yeah, so we're crushing it so far.
Crushing it. Born outside the U.S. and D.C. Really any pitcher, but I just always want an opportunity to talk about Johan.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. If that's what we want to do.
Boom. Under 1% so far on all three. Look at us.
Love every one of them.
Now this is going to get a little harder. A Cleveland Guardians player that was born outside the U.S. You could just go the basic answer of like Jose Ramirez.
Sure. Unless you want to go like farther back and do like Juan Guzman or Sandy Alomar, Roberto Alomar, or Omar Vizquel, or yeah,
any one of those players. Corey, which one?
Let's just do Sandy Alomar and give him some love. Sandy Alomar Jr. Who would end up being
Alomar? I'm gonna guess this is the junior.
Yes.
Here we go. Bam, 3%.
That's fun. 3% is our worst score so far.
Yeah, get it going, Tackman. Come on. All right, a Detroit Tiger born outside the 50 U.S. states and D.C. This is where you could also put in Willie Castro, by the way. Unless he's poor. Yeah, no, actually, you could put in Willie Castro in here. Because he started his career with the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, I don't care. That sounds fine. But does he need to be our crossover, or are there? No,
I think there's plenty of Twins Tigers crossover.
Tons of them. Yep.
Joe Creedy. You have Jack Morris,
Kenny Rogers, Delman Young,
Joe Nathan,
Rondell White.
There's a lot. Torrey Hunter.
Yeah, right, exactly. All right, there's plenty. So you do whatever you got to do for that one.
Let's go Willie Castro. Bam, 0.4%.
Gosh dang, I'm so mad the 3%'s the worst one so far.
This is what we do for giving love to Sandy Alomar on this program, I guess.
Dang it.
Darn it. Cincinnati Red, was a Cleveland Guardian. There's a few you could go. Trevor Bauer, Yasiel Puig, Terry Francona as a manager.
Would Francona count?
I don't think he counts as a manager, but he did play, right? So I don't know if he played for both franchises, but
Puig is funny. I didn't know that. I would have not.
Remember, Puig was a part of the Trevor Bauer trade.
Oh, okay.
because he was with the Reds and they traded him to Cleveland. I know because I saw a Twins extra inning game where Yasiel Puig hit a go-ahead grand slam in the 10th inning for Cleveland. So
something.
that was not fun. I really liked Yasiel Puig when he was with the Dodgers, and he was so exciting. 6%. God dang it.
Yes, I'm back in it.
All right, a Twins Guardian. Jim, tell me one that comes to mind.
Do you want to have the worst answer, or can we think of a better one?
Orlando Cabrera, believe played with Cleveland, Twins shortstop in 2009.
That's fun. I mean, at that rate, then probably Nunez did too, right?
Probably. There's a twin Guardian / Indian. I mean, did Mike Redmond play for Cleveland?
Feels like it.
I feel like that's one that's you could also put on there. Carl Pavano, didn't he pitch for Cleveland?
Feels like it.
Kind of would feel like it. There's a few good ones we could put on here.
Hector Carrasco?
Yeah. All right, yeah. We got a lot of them we can pick from. Corey, which one do you think we should go with?
Whichever one you think is right.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of them are right. I just going back and forth here.
Do Otis Nixon.
Otis Nixon?
Yeah.
All right. Otis Nixon. 0.3%. Look at us.
Yes.
Look at us. This is probably our best grid ever, actually, if we can get an Immaculate.
For sure.
And I know we can it's the red tiger that's going to hold me up.
I think I have one.
Okay, good. Keep it in the back of your head. Okay. Let's look for or do you just want to knock it out now and then we can have our last one be the twin tiger?
No, let's do the twin tiger and then we can come down to the last one.
I mean, I think somebody like Joe Nathan, because nobody really remembers him as a tiger.
That's fine.
Would be fun. There's obviously Joe Creedy, Delman Young, like we talked about. I mean, there's just.
I think Delman is the most popular answer. I'll be honest with you.
I think Delman or Jack Morris.
Or Jack Morris, Dan Gladden, right?
Yep. That's also on the. Although, do you think people remember Dan Gladden as a Tiger? Like, I mean, no, I know Twins fans may like. Do you think Tigers fans?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
He was good. Gladden was a good baseball player.
He was. He was a Hall of really good. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I picked Otis Nixon, so you pick this one.
All right, cool. I'm going with Joe Nathan.
Okay.
Joe Nathan. Bam, 4%. Dang it.
Nice.
All right. I always like this picture of Joe Nathan. Like he's just like looking at the classic early 2000s backdrop.
It looks like he got arrested. Is what the picture looks like.
I'm glad you said it because I didn't want to put it out there. But yes, that is exactly what it looks like. Sorry, Joe Nathan. All right, a Tiger Red. A red Tiger.
For the win.
And for the rarity score.
Our lowest score ever. Please, Baseball Jesus, let this be right. Dimitri Young.
Dimitri Young. Yeah, that's a good answer. All right.
Come on. How
do you spell Dimitri?
D-I-M-I.
Okay. Come on, spell check.
There's
got to be a better way to spell it. Hold on.
Do Young. Just do Young. Can you do Young and have it fill in?
Oh, yeah. There is it's D. It's right to the M. It's D to the M.
Okay.
Dimitri Young.
Come on.
Delman Young's brother? Cousin?
I don't know. Please be right. Please be right. Please be right. Please be right. Please be right.
Here we go.
Please be right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Of 20. Dude, Zeke is going to be so jealous when we tell him.
What did Dimitri get? 5%.
5.
It's almost the worst score.
Almost.
I think that is Delman's brother. Now that you say that.
Yeah. Let me
name what. Can you name another red tiger?
Oh, I mean,
I think eventually we could probably get to it, but
Reds who played
Sean Casey.
Yeah, that probably would work. It's gonna be somebody like weirdly like, oh yeah, that guy.
Paul go start his career. You know what I mean?
Eric Davis, David Wells, Sam Crawford, Harry Haleman. Also, I mean, these are like 2 charter franchises in baseball too. That's the other thing. So they're just a lot of things. How about Boom Boom Beck in 1945? He played for both of them. How do we not get him?
How could I forget about Boom Boom Beck?
It's Boom Beck, by the way.
Well, yeah,
of course. Trying to see. Buck Farmer played, Alex Gonzalez, Bill Gullickson, George Harper. There's Jose Iglesias played for a couple. I mean, there really is not a ton unless you are a fan of either franchise to have any crossover as far as I'm looking through.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. We had rarer scores than that. I'm most proud of the Dimitri Young poll.
Yes, that is a good poll. Just when you factor in strength of schedule.
Right. All the other ones are like, well, obviously.
Ruben Sierra in 1997.
Yeah, well, you could put Ruben Sierra. He's fill him in just about every square, and you're going to get two, like a third of the grid correct. You know what I mean?
Dontrell Willis also on that list.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like this is such a good poll. That's such a good poll. Such a good poll.
Otis Nixon's a good poll too. All right. Good game.
All right. Good game. Let's do it again. See you later.
Powered by Wadena's Pizza Ranch and FunZone Arcade. Follow the Morning Sports Desk on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And watch every show on YouTube.